What's going on, Sagittarius? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be a reading for the remainder of July 2023. So in this reading, Sagittarius, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy for the rest of the month. We're going to take a look at some things you do not see coming. We're also going to get some advice from your angels and spirit guides and so much more regarding the rest of July 2023 for you, Sag. Now, before we begin this reading, as always, I do want to take a moment to let you know that you are very welcome here in this space with me as we go through this reading. And I really do appreciate you, Sagittarius, in advance for taking the time to check this reading out. Now, if this general reading happens to resonate with you, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. I would also really appreciate that over here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and pull the energy and see what it is that would like to come through for you for the remainder of July 2023, Sagittarius. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Sagittarius. All right, let's go ahead and see what we got going on here for you, Sagittarius. Whoa. Okay, very interesting stuff that you got going on here. Before we get into the tarot reading, let's start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards from the universe, and this is going to be some frequencies that the universe wants you to sit with. The universe really wants you to contemplate these frequencies, how you need to integrate them into your life. So the first frequency the universe wants you to look at for the rest of the month, how it relates to the rest of the month, is actually the frequency of trust. Trust. Okay, so do you have trust issues? Do you trust too easily? Do you not trust at all? Is something for you to be very aware of. And it's coming through more so as like trust in the universe in general. For many of you, you may think that you believe in the law of attraction, but there's a difference between believing in something and knowing something to be true. You may believe that you can get up out of this chair and walk across the room, but until it's in your behavior, from a universal perspective, you don't actually know it to be true. And just like intuitively with this trust frequency, there may be something that you need to build trust with the universe. This is something that I did working with the law of attraction in general. It may have to do with the law of attraction. For a lot of you it does. For some of you it doesn't. But just for example, like I used to, manifest small things. Like I'm going to manifest someone giving me a compliment today. I'm going to manifest this specific parking spot in my job or my old job or something like that. Like, can you build trust with universal principles as to how it works? And that's going to be a unique process. But for some of you as well, it's really important to understand, are you naive or are you closed off? For me personally, there's always been a real struggle to overtrust people, and still to this day, it's actually part of my gift to look at the bright side of people and just openly trust them no matter what. But also it has gotten me in a lot of trouble. So do you trust too easily? Because, Sagittarius ruled by the sign of Jupiter, Sagittarius can go up and make friends with someone you just meet on the street. But you don't really know that person. You tend to, look at the bright side of life. So be aware of that. But mainly this is like trust in the universe, in some sort of bigger goal that you have. Like you need to build trust with that. Or can you trust it? Find ways to trust it, if that makes sense. Like trust falls well. If you do a trust fall, the universe will have your back, is what I'm saying. But many of you just have never felt And what I mean by fall, I don't mean fall and like lower your vibration. I mean like surrender to a flow, surrender to a decision that you want to make in life, and then just stick with it. I feel like a lot of you, the frequency that's coming through is you're not really taking as much action as you could towards your goals because there could be a lack of trust. Or this also for some of you has to do with interpersonal relationships, working on, are you too trustworthy or do you not trust enough? Because that could be an issue. Now, frequency you want to look at as well is the burden. Okay, so what is a burden in your life right now? For a lot of you, this is coming through as relational people, but this could also be outdated thoughts that are just like hovering over you and burdening you at this time. The universe wants you to look at anything that you feel is a burden, and a burden is something that you feel like you have to deal with this thing, not by choice, not by free will, but kind of by like a deterministic aspect. So look at anything that feels heavy to you that, is really what is the monkey on your back right now is the question to ask yourself. And it could have to do with trust, like there's a burden of trust. I don't know. We're going to have to see as the reading expands. You also have creativity. And this is typically like the Empress card in traditional tarot. This Osho Zen tarot is different though, has different meanings. And creativity really is the frequency you need to contemplate. So the question is to ask yourself, I'm just getting intuitively as well, do you feel that creativity is a burden, or do you allow it to just be the free-flowing thing that it is? I do get that, where some of you are not actually being as creative as you could because of some sort of burden. This could actually be the opinion of other people. Number one excuse, not excuse, but reality that people face is like, I don't want to unleash my creativity because of a burden, because of a person on my back. I do feel that, and it's like underlying, like what I'm getting from this is you could have friends, family member, or a partner or coworkers around you, whoever it is, that say the right things, but you understand that at a deeper level they may not mean what they say. And that's probably also why you have the trust frequency here. Do you take what people say at face value, or do you look for their body language, the underlying communication? Like so much of human communication is nonverbal. And so just be aware of that. So you have trust, burden, and creativity, and I also finally have guidance. What frequency do you need to contemplate? Guidance. So this is to remember that, none of us are doing this alone. I really, this guidance card is about people in your life as well, because this is the suit of pentacles. The rainbow suit in this deck is the suit of pentacles, having to do with the earth. And so what's coming through is, yes, looking at your relationship to guidance from the higher universe and synchronicity, angel numbers, spirit guides, all that, right? But there also is something about, can you allow yourself to be guided by a person here in your life? Because I do feel like there is someone, this could be a mentor that you don't even know. What I'm getting is it could be like an online person, like you watch, like me, like I'm like an online mentor for a lot of people. Like, can you trust their guidance to aid your creativity, is what I would say. But you have trust, burden, creativity, and guidance. So we're going to have to see, but that's the frequency that the universe wants you to contemplate. And remember, the reason I show you the cards up to the camera is so that it will give its own impression. It will impress your own unique subconscious. So you'll be getting, as I'm showing you a card, you'll be listening to me, the information I'm imparting, but you'll also get your own intuitive hits that can you trust? So just be aware of that. I do feel like the universe is guiding you at this time, but there could be some sort of burden that's holding you back from trusting that guidance. I mean, wow. Yeah, I mean, can you trust yourself to create, and can you give yourself permission to create something ugly as well, is what I would say, because you have to do that, so just be aware of that. But let's really get into your reading now. What's going on for you in the month of July? Yeah, there's definitely a new love coming into your life if you're single here, Sagittarius, big time. But let's start off in the beginning. Your opportunity is the High Priestess here, and the High Priestess has to do with intuition, mystery, the third eye, trusting your gut rather than trusting what the physical world is saying, rather than trusting people's words. Listen to the feeling that you get. Listen to your intuition. And it makes sense with what you need to contemplate is trust, creativity, and guidance. There's some sort of intuitive development here that you really need to lean into that, right? People think that, if you look at like Albert Einstein, all of his great discoveries came through imagination, through first-person imagination. If you look at the way in which, some of you won't believe me. I don't really care. I'm giving you the thing that I know about how the world works. The weapons of mass destruction, in order to get, like during World War II, in order to create amazing technology, like the Germans were going into electroshock. They were doing all these experiments in order to communicate with spirit, and the aliens gave them the plan. Like they would go into these like meetings with with interdimensional things, like spiritual things. Basically, I'm gonna leave it at that. And my cat, Jack, what are you doing? My cat is scratching the thing. What I'm trying to say is, if you think you're gonna arrive at some grand place at your life through practicality and through just like not trusting creativity, not trusting guidance from the universe, you're not going to get anywhere. Everything that we see comes from the imagination, or comes from the spiritual into the physical, because everything starts with a thought, but it goes deeper than that. People get weapons of mass destruction through channeling aliens that give them like a literal direct plan. They apply it mathematically and it works. So what I'm saying is, many of you have an attitude of, I don't trust spirit, or you do trust spirit, but then you don't act on what spirit is actually trying to tell you. And this, for a lot of you, is going to be in the form of some sort of new career path or creative project that you're waiting for the right time. So make sure you really tune in. What is spirit telling me to do? Because just like as an example, like for the longest time with my own YouTube channel, I was ignoring what spirit was telling me. I was trying to do it practical. I was trying to imitate the success of others, recreate other success through the practical mind, right? The logical mind. But then spirit was like, yo, change your name from Austin Reed to the Autistic Mystic. And I was like, spirit, are you serious? That's crazy. That's insane. At least back then, that's what I thought. But it worked. And spirit, like the universe reveals its secrets to those who dare to follow their heart. So if you could do anything, write down any sort of inspiration that you get. The human mind is not meant to have this all in our head. I guarantee you, all of you have had $1 million ideas. You just don't write it down. You just don't believe what spirit is telling you, because sometimes it's hard. Is this my intuition, or is this some sort of random fantasy? But if you write all of them down, you'll eventually figure it out. If you just don't discount any of it. So I don't know why I'm getting that. For a lot of you, this is also to do with like not believing in surface level interactions. Especially if you're working a day job, there could be people promising you a promotion, but it's not actually going to come. Something along the lines. Don't trust the words, trust the vibes. In July. Now, when it comes to your challenge, you have the Ace of Cups. All right, the Ace of Cups is your challenge. So for a lot of you, if you're in an existing relationship that is stale, there really could be a feeling of we need to spark things up, or we need to move elsewhere, because the Ace of Cups in your challenge is a new emotion being challenging to you. Many of you, there is going to be a new relationship coming into you, for most of you, there's going to be a new relationship that's coming into your life. For a lot of you, this is going to be with an Aries, with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And it's going to happen very quick, and travel also may be involved. For some of you that are single, there's a new strong presence coming into your life, Sagittarius. But for some reason, that new emotion tied up to this new dating experience, or this new relationship, when you meet this person, some of you already know who this person is a challenge. So we're going to have to see why it's a challenge, okay? Some of you may feel a little bit burdened by this new relationship, even though it's great. I'll show you why I'm saying that in a moment. But when it comes to your overall general energy for the month, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but you do have all these great aspects otherwise. But you have the Three of Cups, you have the Four of Swords in reverse, and you also have the Eight of Swords upright. So this frequency displays like what is the overall vibe, what is the overall energy that you'll be experiencing as a mean average of the month. And I'll be honest, if some of you try to escape reality through just like partying, I really feel like it can go good for you in the beginning of the month, like right now as you're listening to this, but right at the end of the month, because I read chronologically, and this is towards the end, this is towards the beginning in the center here. And you may feel trapped if you try to escape through, escapism, partying, drinking, all this stuff. It really may trap you worse. The Four of Swords in reverse as well, I feel like it's going to be a very active month, or a month where if you try to isolate yourself too much, I do feel like that won't help you as well. Because remember, the frequency you need to contemplate is the guidance card. So this is to do with like things in the physical world, meeting up with people, collaborating, and there's a lot of that here that can help you. I would say be very careful to isolate yourself as well. So it's a fine line between not isolating yourself and not going too crazy with people in a fun way, because there's going to be all these opportunities. We're going to really have to clarify that. It's interesting, but here's where it gets very exciting for you. It's going to be different things for different Sagittariuses, but here's in what you don't see coming for July. Wow, this is a whammy. I mean, a positive whammy, but you have the Emperor upright, you have the Eight of Wands is the centerpiece to your reading, and you also have the Chariot. So in what you don't see coming, first of all, these two cards conjunct equal travel. It indicates you're either traveling mentally or you're traveling literally. For a lot of you, you will literally be traveling here to someone, because the Eight of Wands has to do with open speed communication, things happening fast, travel, and the Chariot is literally a vehicle. It represents travel. So both of these, if you don't have any travel plans, I would say expect the unexpected. You may go on some sort of spontaneous trip, is what I would say, or is what I'm feeling. And you also have the Emperor here. So this is for a lot of you here, you're going to be receiving some sort of offer if you haven't already. If you're a single Sagittarius, making plans from someone that wants to meet up with you, that wants to start dating you, and you could travel to go to them or vice versa. Or you could be traveling just on your own and you can meet someone while you're traveling is what I'm getting. Now for others of you, if love doesn't come up, if you don't experience love, then this absolutely has to do with more so a goal, and really in what you don't see coming, absolutely having clarity, having drive, having communication, open communication with other people who can help you in spirit, and really just like finally having a concrete plan or some sort of confidence is really going to come to you. No matter who you are, you're either going to be dealing with a very confident person, or you're going to, in what you don't see coming, you getting confident. And the confidence may actually come through some sort of guidance from someone, or you learning to trust and realizing that it can go way better than you thought. You know what I mean? Like, so when I was starting to, I'm just using this as a concrete example for those of you dealing with career. When I was trying to make it on YouTube years ago and I wasn't getting anywhere, I had a friend of mine, my best friend now, that said, yo, you got to go on TikTok. People are blowing up on, and I was like, yeah, I don't really trust your advice. Like, you don't have what I want. Why would I? You hear, like, don't take advice from people who don't have what you want. And that's what the philosophy. I was like, why am I going to listen to you when you don't have, why should I go on TikTok? You go on TikTok. But I swallowed my pride and I said, I'll go on TikTok. Bam! It was just like hundreds of thousands of views, and that's what I wanted. And basically, it was because I listened to the advice of my friend. And that's what I'm getting here is like, if someone gives you very confident advice and you feel like, okay, it's coming from a good place, I would do that. I would actually listen to that, because you need more guidance, trust in guidance as well. Because I mean, hey, like if you try to tell a Sagittarius what to do, a lot of you do have that tendency to literally do the opposite of what someone tells you to do just because you don't want to be controlled. But that actually will get you into trouble. And that could be what this is about as well. So just be aware of that. There's a lot of, in what you don't see coming, there's some sort of power, quick development. So you could, if this is love, for a lot of you it will be so powerful that you may, Ace of Cups in your challenge, be like, whoa, this is crazy. But in a good way. But others of you, if this is to do with your own internal process or external process having to do with career or advancement in your spirituality, then yeah, you're going to be very assured of something somehow. And it could be listening, like your intuition says, hey, like, do this. And you just do it, you trust it, and then it works. Something like that. Because somehow you're going to be very confident, you're going to feel in control, or you're going to feel like very good in what you don't see coming. Okay, so this month, it seems like it starts off shaky, and then almost like Spirit like jumps in. But when it comes to your advice from Spirit, you have the King of Cups, you have the Page of Pentacles, and you also have the Three of Wands in your advice from Spirit for the rest of the month, Sagittarius. So with this being in your advice, this is definitely some sort of advice of like things are going to be moving so fast that you want to remain grounded. The Page of Pentacles is someone who does the dirty work. It's someone who just like is living in physical reality. Hold on, I need to cancel this call. Sorry, I should have had that on airplane mode. Remain grounded and be patient. There is a message coming through as well that many of you may receive like not like your first hit of success. It's almost like what I'm getting from this is like things are going to go according to your plan. But then like it's almost like when things start to go according to your plan, whether this is a plan in a relationship or business or whatever expansion you're trying to do, it will go according to your plan, but it's just like whew, put the brakes on. Like keep your head up in failure and keep your head down in success. And because you're going to have success. But the weird thing about this reading is it seems to me that the success that you're actually going to have, you don't see it coming. Because what you don't see coming, Emperor, Eight of Wands, Chariot, that's success in some way. And then you have you have the High Priestess in your opportunity, which is like you don't know how this is going to work out. That's why you have all these themes of trust, guidance, and creativity. You know, you don't know how things work, is what I would say. Like, all I know is I know nothing. So when you listen to Spirit, you get your ego out of the way, you do what Spirit tells you to do, or what someone trusted advisor tells you to do. It can be great. But then you have the King of Cups here. So for those of you that are single and you're looking for love, there really is someone here who is very loving coming into your life. You may not be used to it as well. It may throw you off. Roles could be reversed here, but like King of Cups in your advice, what I'm getting from this is whoever this new love thing, you know, Emperor, Eight of Wands, Chariot, if that has to do with love, then there really is something here about someone is really good, like integrated. What I'm picking up when I tune into the collective love side of things, I really get someone who is pretty solid individual. So that's great, but for some reason the Ace of Cups is your challenge, so we're gonna have to see why. I mean, maybe it's just you're not used to things going so smooth. For others of you as well, you know, if you're doing some sort of career transition that's like, you know, based on intuition and all this stuff, then do it like you love it. You know, this is an act of labor. If this has to do with career in your advice, Page of Pentacles, doing the dirty work, Three of Wands, remaining optimistic and being patient, and King of Cups is really being attuned to yourself and really loving what you do, you know? So if you're in the stage of development here, it's really finding a way to love yourself now, because that's the only way that you'll get success, really. You know, and you also have this Ace of Cups in your challenge. So just be aware of that, you know, like you got to love yourself, like whether you're successful, you know, or not, you got to love yourself either way. Sometimes, you know, what I get from this as well is, yeah, no, we're going too deep. Let's get into the clarification portion and hit the really important stuff before I get into all these side tangents. All right, let's clarify what the High Priestess is here. Sagittarius in your opportunity. What is the High? Is a very interesting opportunity. Why is it here? whoop. The High Priestess is actually clarified by the Two of Cups and also the Justice card when it comes to your opportunity. So yeah, for a lot of you, there's a very mysterious relationship that's developing that is really going to balance your life and make you very happy. Okay, once again, I told you that the person coming in for you, they're showing up as the Emperor, the Chariot, the King of Cups. That's the energy that I'm picking up on from this person that's coming into your life. Okay, so even if you're a man, you can switch that into the feminine polarity. It's just energy. But with the Justice card and the Two of Cups here, someone is really going to make you very happy in love, very happy. And it's something that you can't plan for. I really feel like there's going to be some sort of, the way in which that you and this person's energy interacts is going to make you feel like, justice is somehow restored into my life now that this happened, okay? But it's mysterious development, so let it be mysterious. Trust your feeling. As well, I feel like this is as well, for a lot of you, if this has to do with like mentorship, even if it's to do with you interacting with interdimensional energy and not a person, but you're trusting that guidance, if you can do that, like you're listening to your gut, your intuition, guidance and creativity here and trust. I really feel like if you can listen to your intuition, it's going to bring justice and new relationships into your life. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I just had to reset the camera before it reset. Let's go ahead and clarify why the Ace of Cups is your challenge. Why is the Ace of Cups your challenge, Sagittarius? So, yeah, not everything's black and white. It can be great, but it can... Okay. Very interesting. Okay. The main card that came out, the Ace of Cups in your challenge, is actually clarified by the Six of Wands. And this has to do with public victory, getting attention in a very positive sense here, getting attention from other people and stuff. Some of you, there's a potential that the person you're interacting with has a lot of status, and that may actually make you feel some type of way about the new relationship coming in. Or it could be you, something about public relationship, public feelings, Six of Pentacles, public victory, getting attention, but the Ace of Cups is new emotion. So it could be like public feelings, like someone wants to show you off and you may not want that, etc. Something to do with that is what I'm getting for those of you dealing with this new love situation, because I feel like most of you are dealing with that. But for others of you, more so when it comes to trusting your gut and starting this new path, whether this is business or just spiritual endeavor, then this really is about really being comfortable with winning. This is something that I had to do. This between people in my life and the whole education system, I felt like a loser my whole life, basically. I felt stupid. And so when it came to me sitting down and saying, okay, I dropped out of college, I need to become a successful spiritual teacher, well, my entire subconscious mind was basically like, you're a loser. And so how the hell am I supposed to feel comfortable with winning if my whole life have been a loser? And even if you've had wins, it's like this underlying frequency I'm sensing, or like winning in a new way, getting attention for different things, potentially, if you're switching something. And the Ace of Cups to the Six of Wands in your challenge here, once again, there really is something about you have an emotional attachment to the contest of your own creativity. And that sounds stupid, contest of your own creativity, but it maybe reveals something. Remember, what are you meant to focus on? Guidance, creativity, trust, and burden. And the Ace of Cups to the Six of Wands in your challenge here, it's almost like what I'm getting from this is really really being comfortable with standing out in a new creative way for some of you, you know. I feel like I just had something to say, it just like went away. Sometimes that happens. But with this frequency here, Sagittarius, for those of you, to not focus on love for a minute, we're going to get back to love in a minute. For others of you dealing with just like life in general here, yeah, it's about really being comfortable with winning in a different way, if that makes sense. Or just, you know, also in your challenge, the Ace of Cups to the Six of Wands is, for some of you, like knowing when to stop, or like not being grandiose, because Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter can be very, you know, Zeus, the king of the gods. That's what Jupiter's all about. And a lot of times maybe you can go too far, or you can think that success is really going to make you feel some type of way when it's not. And so there could be something of like the universe is trying to prepare you to be in a position of power if you're not already, or something along those lines, okay? So something to do with new emotions and victory. But if you're already in some sort of very good position, like you've already manifested what you want in life in general, then there could be something about not overdoing it, knowing when to stop, knowing when to quit, you know. Just to give you an example of this, like you could be addicted to the feeling of success if you've had a lot in your life, maybe in different ways. Now you want it in different ways. And just to take you an example, like when you look at certain like UFC fighters, like I'm a big fan of martial arts, and you look at certain or athletes that stick around past the point of when they were actually like in their optimal state, it becomes like almost embarrassing, where they're so addicted to the feeling of success that in the end of they had this glorious career, and if they just walked away at the right time, they would be remembered as a legend. Whereas if they overextended their stay, it doesn't have the same effect, you know. So knowing when to get out of something, knowing when to get into something. This also could have to do with, yeah, that's what I got for you there. Just trying to lay it all out there, but let's go ahead and get into this spread. Let's see why the Eight of Swords is here. Some of you, by the end of the month, could feel trapped in a new love situation as well. I don't know. Let's see. Why is the Eight of... Okay. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens. Hold on. Okay. So, when it comes to the developing love situation, there could be something that happens by the end of the month where you choose to question this person's intentions for you, especially for those of you in a new love situation. You really start to question this person's intentions, perhaps, because the Ace of Wands is a new beginning. Page of Swords is questioning things, almost like stalker energy, and the Seven of Swords is like a schemer. So you could feel trapped in a weird situation, like you don't trust something. It's interesting that the trust frequency would be here, right? Because Page of Swords to the Seven of Swords is like, do I trust this? Do I trust this? What's going on? For others of you, in an existing relationship that you think is a little bit stale, I do really feel like by the end of the month, I mean, if you stick this out and it's really not doing it for you still, there's going to be this feeling of like, this is no good. You know what I mean? Now, for those of you dealing with other adventures, career, spiritual pursuits, changing money, changing career, I really do feel like, once again, it's working through your own trust issues. You feel the inspiration one day, the next day you're like, do I trust this? Am I scheming myself? And it's just part of that creativity process, okay? So, with that being said, I don't even want to jinx things with the love for you. Well, we got more information on it. King of Pentacles. Strong likelihood that whoever you're connecting to could be an earth sign. They also could have money or status. That's why you have that whole Six of Wands as your challenge. To the Ace of Cups, you have the Emperor, and you have the King of Pentacles. I do sense that this person you're connecting with in love, the new person, is a good girl or a good guy, whoever it is. But they may, I don't know, because Sagittarius is a freedom lover, so there could be like something with that. But overall, it's a great month of development, and in some sort of way, real justice is coming into your life with your relationships, whether this is your relationship to creativity itself or another person. But it's really about, but then your challenge is public feelings, so just be aware of that as well. Somehow public feelings will manifest how do I feel about being in the public or winning, or how do I feel about being in this relationship with this person who has status or wants to be public or something. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this reading. I hope that you enjoyed it.